This is our first live stream with the Syncoria team. I mean, we want to make this space very useful for you, very entertaining. Also, we want to have a good time while we talk about business, about technological tools. At this moment, we are live, so if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat. My name is Diego Rodriguez. I'm the growth manager of Syncoria, and this is a really great experience because we are trying these new channels and trying to get a lot of content to you. So thank you for being here. And with me is Fida Sahir. He's the CEO of Syncoria, as well as the head of professional services. And I think we can start with the what is Syncoria. Tell us a little bit about Syncoria and about your role. And thank you for being here also.
Thank you so much, Diego. It's a pleasure being here. Um, let's start off with a little bit of a history. The Syncoria has been around for uh, for 17 years now, a little over 17 years. We started out as an agency, a digital agency, mostly web development and online marketing, and later we evolved to a more of an engineering firm, a software development firm. And the last few years have been primarily Odoo. So we took up Odoo. We actually started um, looking at it in 2016, towards the end of 2016 or early part of 2017, and started developing a few tools and some themes for ourselves just to get a handle on it before we started to um, offer it to our customers. And then we eventually, I mean, finally, we started offering Odoo as a solution to our customers and being a partner from 2018. So it's been a wonderful 3 years. We're right now a silver partner in Canada. Our offices are located in Toronto, Ontario, downtown Toronto. And yeah, the main reason we took up Odoo and we really went ahead with it and spent so much time and invested so much into it is because we truly believe in its powers. We think that Odoo is remarkably stable and rich in features, and that gives us really the platform to to create solutions or products for our customers um, very fast, and that's why we and through our and during this time we've also since we're still at heart a team of engineers and consultants. We have developed numerous apps, and we've also integrated Odoo with other platforms like Moneris, which is the number one payment acquirer in Canada. We're
Right.
actually an authorized integrator. We've integrated with um, Global Payments, True Commerce, SBS Commerce. Also, we have integrations with Shopify, WooCommerce, and other platforms as well. We also develop themes because we think that Odoo e-commerce and Odoo website uh, is really powerful and stable. So that's why we focus heavily on apps and themes development, as well as, of course, Odoo training and implementation
Yep.
and tech support.
We decided to name this talk like what are the tools that are used by the big companies that maybe a small business is not aware of, or maybe they are not. I mean, they assume that it's too big or too expensive. So let's get into that. Um, First will be like what is an ERP. So for everyone. I'm part of the team, so I know most of these questions. But the idea is to transfer to you, Fida, the most common questions that we get from our customers, and try to clarify about this topic. So will be the first one will be like, what is an ERP, and what is the benefit that it has for a small company?
Sure, sure. So ERPs have been around for decades now. It's enterprise resource planning. It's mostly a set of software applications that help automate and streamline business processes. Um, a lot of it around supply chain management and manufacturing in the past. But over the years and decades, really the scope of an ERP expanded, or it became larger. So all the companies that used to do ERP are doing much more. Odoo is no different. Odoo also started out as a purely as an ERP solution, but now it's not just an ERP. It has a very powerful CRM application. It has the marketing tools. It has collaboration tools. So it's really a complete set, we would say, for to that covers any any business process or any need of a business. And in the past, uh, it used to be such that only larger companies or the Fortune 500 companies could afford an ERP because of the huge license costs and the hardware costs also. But since then, um, the, the proliferation of cloud technologies has really brought it to the hands of small businesses. And Odoo is unique in its in this space. It is a cloud-based solution, but it also has a very strong open source background. So it was built for everyone by the developer community, and that's why it's right now it's a mixed model, but the pricing is very well suited for even a very small business with two or three people. Any business can use this, especially during times like this when everybody's working from home and productivity
Right.
is a challenge. So a tool like this could be extremely useful.
So it is like, yeah, like the title, because uh, like big companies, Fortune 500, I mean, they all share this, and it is like they have an ERP. I mean, they have a business, sorry, a software that backs up their business. So it is a software that is allowing them for manage from accounting to human resources to manufacturing to inventory. So uh, that is how, well, not only that is not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons that how they make that growth, is because they are well structured, and have these tools. I mean, these great tools
Absolutely.
that, as you said, in the past it was out of the question for not out of the question. What is the expression? It is like
It's too expensive. It
too
was
expensive for
yeah,
small
not
and medium
useful
businesses.
for everyone. And yeah, and you bring up a very good point, which I've totally forgot. Of course, the finance part is a big part of an ERP or any business software. So yeah, that part also. In the past, there were finance tools. There's still a finance and accounting software that are very affordable, but they're not connected to, say, sales or customer service or inventory, and a lot of effort and time is actually spent making sure the information in one of these systems is consistent with the other parts. So where I mean that's where a centralized or an integrated ERP or a complete business solution suite like Odoo could really help
Right.
any business.
Give me 1 second. I'm turning on my light. Yeah, I think it's better. uh, so yeah, yeah, that is huge step for an startup, for a small company. But not every small business, not every startup is ready to implement something like this. I mean, because either way, I mean, it is, even when it's something small or maybe not that complex, it's going to take some time and also some money. So when or how does a small business know when they are ready to implement something like this?
Oh, that's a very good question. And uh, basically, it's time, money, and probably the biggest thing is the change. So big or small, going through a change is challenging. Something is working in a certain way. Even introducing something that's for the better is challenging, and we fully appreciate that. Having worked with small businesses and even larger businesses over the years, we appreciate that. I know it's from a technology point of view, um, something new and better is always appealing, but the transition from one system to another has numerous challenges. So it is a daunting task. Good thing about Odoo is it's really it's first of all it's very hard to if not impossible to define a particular stage or a benchmark that a
Right. Yeah.
company needs to cross before it can start thinking about ERP. We work with companies in different phases in their journey. Some are startups, some are very mature company operating over many years with set practices and business processes. So it is very hard to tell you when. That's why we like Odoo is that Odoo you can start as small or as big as you want. If you can just start with one or two apps and maybe start with accounting or simply inventory management or purchase management. And then you plug in other applications like manufacturing, sales, um, customer service or help desk, field services. You can add these. And it's really plug and play. You don't have to worry about making sure the data is consistent or the information flows from one application to another. You don't have to worry about it. So that way, Odoo is really flexible, and that's why we think it's a perfect solution for small to medium businesses in particular, where such a big transition, which often requires uh, additional manpower, additional time, money,
Hmm.
everything that can be broken down into phases and basically bite-sized chunks uh, and can be achieved. Good thing, big goals can be achieved through small incremental steps.
Yeah, that is something that I hear from Odoo. Well, about Odoo that I know, that is completely modular will be the word. I mean, that
Yeah,
it is not required to someone to uh, implement everything at the same time. So they can start with the most common, that will be purchase, inventory, and sales, including the CRM and all that. Uh, that is like the small implementation, but during the time after they finish implementing that, or we finish implementing that, uh, then they want to include manufacturing, or maybe they want to include human resources or payroll or stuff like that. So it is something that you can go, uh, yeah, step by step, as you mentioned it, and it doesn't have to be all at the same time.
exactly. The big bang approach is not always the best option. So with Odoo, you have the flexibility. In fact, Odoo offers
Right.
one app for free for any business to start trying it out. And the one thing about Odoo that we really uh, like and appreciate is the fact that the user experience is very consistent. So if you have mastered one app, the second or the third app becomes quite intuitive for you. You don't have to. Uh, I mean, for for some of the other ERPs, you have to remember quite a few shortcuts and codes for you to operate them. Whereas Odoo is not like that. It's very user friendly. It's mobile responsive. It's cloud based. It also has a mobile app, so you can use it on the go. So yeah, that really makes it easy.
Yeah, I think one of the mm, moments where a small business will require or will be ready for an ERP. I think you mentioned it on a different talk we have before. Is like when they start to repeat the work, right? So one department gets to so
Exactly.
the warehouse they receive the inventory, so they have a spreadsheet, but then they have to send it to some other department that they need to check that spreadsheet and copy some of the columns to a different spreadsheet, or maybe they have to type the information once and then the other department type it again, and it's a lot of time, possibilities for human error, uh, and of course technology is already developed for automate and to integrate everything on the same tool, right? I
Yeah,
think that's what you mentioned before. That is one of the characteristics, or maybe one moment when small companies start to repeat the work. So that's one
exactly.
indicator.
Exactly. So I mean, most even the I mean, businesses of every size in especially in this part of the world uses uh, on average uses I would say more than 10 different softwares or tools. And it is extremely tedious to make sure that these tools are always they have the same picture, the same data. They're in perfect synchronization. So that's where a lot of repeated work and manual effort comes into play. So when that becomes a significant um, expense or
Bottleneck.
yeah, yeah, overhead, I think that's when it's a very good time to start thinking about something that's integrated.
Now you make me think also about reporting. So if you have, I'm talking to our audience. If you have a small business and you find yourself in a meeting saying like, what is the last, what is the status of the inventory? And everyone is like, oh, we need to wait for this person to update that spreadsheet, or maybe to transfer that information, or they, so those that is also an indicator. I mean, not having everything on the same page, on the same website or tool, is also a bottleneck to making smart decisions, faster decisions, and making the company grow,
Right,
right?
right. So any business requires a few things like control over the business processes, automation, um, and reporting and KPI tracking. So these things are extremely important for the success and the smooth operations of almost every business. And having different tools that are not really properly integrated makes it very challenging to implement all of these. Whereas if you have a tool like Odoo, which has a centralized database and a suite of applications that really work well together, You can easily implement access control. You can implement control on your processes, quality control at whichever steps you want, and real time accurate reporting based on data. So you can go in and see, hey, this is for a service company. You can see your average revenue per user or your churn rate. Uh, I mean, real time.
That's
That's
very important. I mean, once we have that information live or near to live, uh, that is huge. I mean, I know a lot of companies that they have to wait for someone else to create the weekly report, and only until that day they're going to find something relevant and then make a decision that is going to affect the next week. So it is like a lot of days waiting for the information that is there. It's already there.
right, right. So, yeah, I mean that's one of the main reasons for going for an ERP or an integrated business solution is the fact that you can get real time uh, accurate reports and high level
Right.
metrics. Look at high level metrics and trends.
Okay. So now let's talk about money. What is what are the costs associated with this kind of tool? Because we are talking about a small business that doesn't have the huge budget for that. So you just mentioned that it's actually a part of the tool that it could be free. Uh, but in general, what are the costs associated with implementing a tool like this?
Yeah, so typically there are four factors that determine the cost of course, implementation, the transition, as well as um, uh, maintaining and the overall total cost of ownership. And those four factors are number one, of course, the licensing fee. So Odoo has the enterprise version, which is amazingly affordable. It's only in $28 per user per month, and each app is just maybe 12 to 24 to maybe less, often less than $50 a month. So overall, you don't need to spend an awful lot on licensing. The second factor is hosting. So in the past, of course, hosting was a big cost, but now you have the option to host on the cloud. So Odoo has a SaaS version, a cloud version, which you can use without, I mean, with all the out of the box features, and it's basically zero incremental cost from the license. So if you have the licenses, you don't need to pay for hosting. But if your needs are more advanced and you need some customization, you that may not suffice, then you can use Odoo SH or any cloud service like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure, or we use DigitalOcean a lot. But everybody knows it's not a huge cost. But that's the second factor. Third factor is the implementation. So transitioning through from a system to a new one requires a few things like business analysis, or strong project management, training. So training is a big part. So we do super user training where we show all the configurations that we do, everything under the hood to a group of power users, and also we do end user training towards closer towards going live. So, and then of course some custom development configurations and custom development based on the business analysis, and finally going live and providing the support that a company needs for the first few weeks and maybe months after they go transition to a new system, because a lot of challenges or questions come up that you
Right.
can't always know in advance. So that all those fall under the implementation umbrella, which makes up the third factor.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth and final factor is the ongoing maintenance. So that's not it. That's just a one-time cost of implementation and the recurring cost of the license and hosting. But there's also a cost to maintain a system. But it's if your needs are fully covered by Odoo's out-of-the-box features, which is extensive, by the way. Many business needs are covered just by out-of-the-box features from Odoo. And if that's the case, then again, that cost also goes down to zero. But if that's not the case, if you have bit of customizations, then there is a need for maintenance, and that includes if you have maintenance from us or from Odoo, that includes upgrade because Odoo comes up with new and fantastic features every year. And there was only last week when Odoo came out with version 15, and
Right.
it's such amazing new feature set when it comes to accounting and point of sale that many businesses would want to go to such a version. So that the upgrade cost is another cost, a cost factor. So just to reiterate, four cost factors: the license cost, the hosting, the implementation, and ongoing maintenance and upgrades. So those
Okay.
are the costs.
Right. So yeah, I wanted to resume again. Uh, the licenses that are paid directly to Odoo. But I want to clarify something that sometimes is a common question. There is a license per module. If you want to use inventory and sales and the CRM, for example,
Right.
uh, you have one license per module per company. So it is like,
No, Odoo supports multi-company. So if you have more than one business entity, you don't have to pay extra for each business entity. You can just buy
okay,
a license for CRM or inventory or accounting, and you can have separate books for each individual business entity. And
yeah,
Odoo's licensing is per user base, so based on how many users you assign to your database, uh, plus module. So it's yeah, there are two factors.
yes. Okay, that clarifies something else. And in addition, what I wanted is that sometimes people think that if they have three modules and they have 10 users, they will multiply and they are going to have to pay like 30 licenses, which is
Yeah,
not the case.
no,
Uh, so it's not per user per module. It is one the modules in one part plus the number of users in total, and that's
right.
it. I mean, you don't multiply for and that is something that a lot of people thinks like, no, but I have 50 per 10 modules is going to be 500, so is no, it's not like that.
It's not like that. It's um, if you use say accounting, which I think is $32. I forgot. It's $32 whether or not you have 50 users or 5 users or 10 users.
Yeah.
So it's the same price for or to use an application, and then uh, you pay for seats or licenses. And I get this question a lot that hey, I have 50 users, but CRM, I don't only five of them are going to use CRM. So Odoo's pricing model, I mean CRM's price is fixed, and it's very reasonable to start with. It's just I think $24 a month or something, and and it doesn't really depend on how many users. So the cost of the monthly fee for apps is separate from the the user licenses.
Yeah.
And you can
Yes.
always
Yes.
go to odoo.com/pricing and 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 get a clear picture. You pick the apps that you need, put in the username, put the hosting, and then you can get an idea of the complete license cost and hosting cost if you're hosting with Odoo.
Yeah. I'm putting here. Uh, so it is odoo.com.
/pricing.
Yes, that is correct, right?
Yeah. You can also get. You want to talk about our calculator, our budget calculator?
Yes. Yes. Well, that is actually a great tool that we developed here at Syncoria. That is, I found that in average, a small business takes up to seven, not up to, in average, it takes 17 weeks to decide for an ERP and get the information and what is going to cost and how long it's going to take. So it is like a long process because, of course, it is a software that is affecting the entire company or as they prefer it, which part they want to use it. But in general, it's a long process. So we came up with this idea that is the Odoo calculator. This Odoo calculator, what makes is you can select the number of the modules that you want. As we have mentioned, some of the modules are inventory, sales, purchases, accounting, payroll. I mean, there are like 50 something, 40 something, I don't remember, but there are a lot of modules
Yeah.
uh, in the Odoo out of the box, but that is overwhelming. So this tool, what it makes, you select which modules do you have, how many users you are thinking that are going to use the platform, and this tool is going to uh, create some estimation. Of course, it's estimated. I mean, it's not exact, but it is something approximate on how much is going to cost for this company to implement this tool, and also how is going to uh, how long is going to take. So if you want to say like, okay, we are 10 users in general, maybe you have 10 employees, but not every employee is going to use the software. So you think, okay, we have 10 employees, we have 8 users, and we want to use this, and this. And you can select that, and in 5 minutes on your email, you're going to receive a PDF where with the description of uh, how much is going to be the licenses, how much is going to be the hosting, the implementation, if you need maintenance, and how long is going to take also in weeks. So if you select a lot of users and a lot of modules, it's going to take more time and more money. But yeah, it is an automatic tool that all everyone can use it, and it's completely free, that they can check that out and experiment to see how big an implementation can be, and how far are from your budget.
No, yeah, I mean it's thanks Diego. You're very humble. You're one of the persons behind you're really the mastermind behind this calculator. And so yeah, the main purpose of this is to make things clear, give us someone who's thinking about such a transition a clear picture as to how long it may take. It's based on our experience. It's not an exact. It's not a concrete quote per se. It's an estimate, and it's based on our past experience going through a number of these implementations in this market. We sort of used that and made sure that you get an automated response within 5 minutes, and I think it's an amazing
Yes.
tool. You can always go ahead and I mean please feel free to try it from our website, and the URL is on screen right now. And yeah,
Yes, and two things. I mean, it is free. You can use it the times you want. to compare and to see how big or how small you want the implementation. Um, but something that is very important is that we wanted to make the users or our future clients to have the tool for play around, to say it in some way, and not get compromised, or maybe they say like, no, if I call them they're going to push and be so intense about the implementation. So relax, relax. I mean, we want to help you. We are here to support you and to resolve any question you may have. And this tool, what it makes is give you the the tool itself uh, to play around and to see and explore the different modules and how it's going to fit to your needs. And from then you can say, okay, let's talk about this implementation, and we can of course take it from there, because it is also going to be a huge tool for us, because once that our clients fill the form and they see the implementation they want, it's going to save us some time, and time is money for accelerate the process and to find the best solution and the final proposal faster, because we're going to have half of the way already resolved with that tool. So it is a tool for our clients and as well for us. So yeah, I'm yeah, I'm proud of that.
Yeah, we're really excited. I mean, overall, uh, we we see ourselves as partners to any business going through this transition. It's not easy. We shouldn't pretend it is. It's not. It's not always a straight line path. Um, the most important thing is the transparency between the partners. As vendors, we always are transparent, and it shows in our effort to automate this part that you should get an idea. If you're thinking about something, you should get an idea at no cost of how much of time and money it's gonna take. So that's why we have this tool. We're very proud of it, and we have been working closely with businesses achieve what they want to achieve through an ERP tool or a business suite of applications like Odoo.
Right. And just to, because we are going to send this also to the podcast. So the website is, well, for the ones on LinkedIn and YouTube is on the screen, but for the ones on the podcast is syncoria.com. That is our website, by the way. It's syncoria.com. And the calculator, the audio calculator, you find it in syncoria.com slash ERP dash calc, as in calculator, CALC. Was it right? Yes, yeah, was right, Fida.
Yeah, yeah, looks good. Yeah, so
So
yeah,
just
we have
to,
got everyone.
yeah, we need to get closing.
Yeah,
So one additional question that I have is, what happens with the software tools or tools that the small business already have, and how it can be integrated with Odoo? Because if they want to select only purchase, inventory, and sales, maybe they want to get connected with accounting that they already have, or maybe a different software. So how does that work?
yeah. So Odoo is extremely modular. Also, it's very open. It is an open source. It has an open source core, and it has open APIs. So integrating with any other system is much easier with Odoo than its competitors. And we also specialize in integrations, having worked in custom software development for many years. We've been exposed to many platforms over the years, and we've established uh, a whole set of integration apps that you can get from apps.odoo.com. If you go there and look up Syncoria, Coria. You'll find our applications, our integration applications. We have a whole bunch of them on there. There are EDI integrations, there are API integrations, there are integrations with Shopify, integrations with this TrueCommerce. We're actually a partner to TrueCommerce, and we're also adding new and new integrations every week. If you may, so upcoming integrations are with Clover and with Bambora, and then we have others
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and Channel Advisor. So um, there are integrations on the
Right.
way, and that makes it easier. That makes sometimes it makes so. For example, if you have finance on QuickBooks, data migration becomes really easy if you want to migrate. Also, if you want to keep using both systems, you can use an integrate and connector, which we have developed to keep things in synchronizations. Also, at any point in time, if you want to migrate, it makes it really simple.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's great because I think a lot of people is using, for example, Shopify. I mean, they have their website and e-commerce there, but they don't manage their own. I mean, they have their inventory separate and they cannot connect it, or maybe uh, they want to include it accounting with Odoo or the inventory with Odoo, so they can connect the inventory on Odoo with the store on Shopify. So that is great.
Yeah, and it's real-time integration. So any orders coming through Shopify, getting to Odoo, and they can be processed from that point on very smoothly, and then shipping labels can be pushed back to Shopify. So the two systems are always in perfect balance and in synchronization.
Great, great. So one of the last things, or no, well, for today, but that I wanted to include is like uh, some, or I hear that big part of the ERP implementation might not get to the final end. I mean, they are not successful uh, because of different factors, right? I mean, it could be the partner or the tool, or maybe the company wasn't clear what they want. So I understand that one of the key things for a successful ERP implementation is communication with the partner, and how is your experience on that?
Yeah, I mean, when we when we took up Odoo, that was of course something we considered. Globally, the success rate of such a digital transformation is not very high or very encouraging. But so far, we've had very good success, and we attribute that to our implementation methodology. We uh, we always recommend uh, avoiding the big bang approach and to do going through the transition in phases. So that's one of our key recommendations. We also have communication style. We spend time initially with the gap analysis. We always make sure that an Odoo expert functional consultant is always involved and making sure that we identify all the gaps between Odoo's out of the box features and the customer's need in advance, so we can plan accordingly and reduce the custom development. So our key factors of success, I would say, would be number one, of course, being transparent. That's what we've always been. We've always been extremely transparent, and we continue to do so. And secondly, we break it up into phases, break an entire project into multiple phases with clear deliverables and success criteria established. And then finally, we try to avoid custom development wherever we can. Use Odoo, which is out of the box, which is extremely powerful and robust. Use Studio whenever we can. So Studio is a low-code platform through which you can do minor customization. So you can take a look at odoo.com/. Yeah, it's in the app descriptions. You can learn more about it. So we use that a lot. And yeah, that I think those three things would be the main reasons we have been more successful than others. Uh, yeah.
Great. So yeah, I think we yeah, it's been a long episode, but uh, we wanted to make clear and transparent for our audience. So thank you so much, Fida, for this time, for
Welcome.
this experience also to share with everyone. So there in the web in the screen you can see the website syncoria.com, and follow us on LinkedIn, on YouTube. We are going to we are with this is the first episode where we are going to create a lot of episodes with different cases and experiences with and other consultants that are part of the team. So stay tuned for all this knowledge, because we want to share a lot and make it easier and clearer for anyone who is considering these kind of tools. So, so thank you again. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and have a nice day.
So thank you very much. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye bye.